Islam Makhachev versus Garry is this week, but the card is fucking ass. So I'm not gonna really talk about much of the card because I think most of the fights are not 50-50. I think most of them are quite obvious, and the ones that aren't obvious, I don't really care enough to talk about, to be completely honest. I mean, it's a sleeper card, really. There's not ranked fighters on it, but it's not terrible. Like, I think the performances and the fights alone will be entertaining for the most part. Like Oral buys on a card, Tresean Gore versus Luque, that could be a good fight. Joel Alvarez is on a card. Barboza versus Ribovic, that could be a good fight. And then Jalen Turner and Fernandez, that's a good fight too. Mackenzie Dern versus Juliana Robertson, I don't think most people care about this at all. I don't. This is a piss break to me, but yeah. On the main event, it's the only one I'll really be talking about. Islam Makhachev versus Garry. I made a video before saying once the fight gets closer, it will be interesting to see if each side gives some, pointers to how they're going to fight. And Islam has. They're going to pressure, which is good. I think that's the best way for them to fight. I don't think they were going to win any other way. I don't know why they would fight any other way, but yeah. So if Islam is going to try his best to pressure, and Ian is more than likely going to fight on a back foot. More than likely. I think Ian should stand his ground at moments and not just, give up that space for almost no reason. And take some risk. You got to take some risk at times. You can't just fight at range the whole time, and you're going to get tired. Your legs are going to burn out. You're going to be getting clipped with shots that just shouldn't be getting clipped with. Instead of, early on maybe taking a few shots, and then that enables you to able to, step out the way with this or step out the way with that and then move it. You got to take moments to fight or do certain things. Take a moment, maybe in the second round, he throws with Islam in a moment and catches Islam. If he gets caught, it's like, is Islam really going to knock him out? Is Islam really gonna? And if he does, it's like what you were trying to do, something that would only, you just got caught type of thing. So, and it's a risk. You knew the risk, you took the risk, and maybe it didn't pay off that well. But I highly doubt Islam's gonna finish him unless it's a submission, and I highly doubt it's probably more than likely gonna be a decision unless Islam subs him, which I don't think will happen. It very well could, but I don't think so. Ian has very good jiu-jitsu. He's a good grappler himself. You could argue from the top of my head, he out-grappled Shavkat. He had Shavkat in a worse position for longer than Shavkat ever had him in. He had Shavkat's back and almost subbed him. And Shavkat really didn't do much other than the cage control. He didn't do much damage on the ground. Shavkat really wanted to fight with cage control and striking. That's really what he wanted to fight. So I hope Ian has learnt from that and learnt from maybe his other fights. I think he has, considering the way he fought Bilal. He was doing a lot more rather than move and be a bit hesitant. And I also think the frame of Shavkat and the reach and the maybe just the size of him and maybe a bit of power he had is what made Ian that hesitant to not really do much. And he took the fight in short notice. This is full camp Ian Garry, like his last fight against Bilal. So I think take more chance than you have in the past, like you did in the Bilal fight, but also don't overextend yourself. Fight at that distance, but fight at just a higher pace. That head kick, I think, is going to be there because Islam has to respect it. He just has to. And if Islam is trying to go forwards, is he coming forward with some defense, slip, going underneath shots, going, slipping to the side, throwing his own shot? Well, how is he gonna go forwards? Because you can't, at high level, you can't just walk forwards and with your hands up. I mean, you can't really do that in MMA at all because you can't block that many shots. Blocking is not effective in MMA because the gloves are so small. So Islam fights in a very safe way, but this fight he's forced to take some risk, and I don't know how he's going to be able to. I don't know how capable he is of doing that. I don't really like his chances of being able to go forwards and take that chance. He's going to do it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it well enough to win the fight. I think the first 3, maybe 2 takedowns, if Ian can defend the first 2-3 takedowns of the fight, that will be absolutely huge for him. Because that means Islam's struggling to get the takedowns, and that means he's going to be tired, more tired than he would be normally from them takedowns, and maybe the nervous energy from, oh shit, I can't get a takedown, will build up, and then by the time he knows it, it's the halfway between the third round, he's down. He lost the second round, maybe won the first round. That nervous energy starts building up. If Islam is in a position where it's, oh shit, I could lose, he's going to start to panic. Almost every fighter does. So many fighters do it. I think only really in boxing, which is a completely different sport, and it's evolved. It's at a much higher level, at the top level, than MMA is at a top level. It just is. It's been around longer. It should be, and it is. So them guys can be more composed in moments where maybe they're losing or in a close fight. In this, I don't know if I trust Islam to have that composure, or even Ian Garry to have that composure. So it'll be interesting to fight if someone's down and it's clear they're down and their corner's telling them they're down, how they will fight. I don't know, because they are both very safety first fighters. Islam, that step back with that long guard or stiff arm kind of defense he does at times, but he does step back. He doesn't really do anything other defensively that makes him stand out defensively. He doesn't slip punches that well. He did in the Poirier fight, but that's really, if you look at the Jack fight, when Jack was throwing him combinations, he would roll and he would do that stiff arm and step back. Poirier fight, same thing, other than when he would slip underneath shots, which he can't do in this fight because he's not going to be at the distance and he's not fighting a pure boxer, throwing hooks or slow, I don't want to say slow, but not the best, not the fastest, not the cleanest punches of all time. Ian's going to be a lot more technically good and tidy. Some people like to say that. He's going to be technically better than a Poirier would be, and he's going to be faster on his feet and just quicker to the punch. I think Islam going forwards, I don't know if I trust Ian to really catch him as he's coming in. I think he can, and I think I don't know if he will, but I think he definitely can. And if he doesn't, that's going to be a big issue for him, considering if he can't, what's Islam going to worry about in terms of going forwards? Because he doesn't have, if you're not getting punched while you're going forwards, then go forwards. Like, what's the issue? There is no issue of going forwards if you're not getting punched while going forwards. There would be no issue. Other than taking down, yes. But that's really it. Which Ian isn't going to be the one going forward, so that wouldn't really work. Unless Ian does try and go forward to stand his ground at times, which I think would benefit him. I think Ian, like I said, standing his ground at moments, going blow for blow at times, would get Islam maybe a bit unwilling to take as much as a risk in that pocket, in that going forwards into that range, especially if Ian's winning them exchanges. If Ian can win them exchanges in mid-range when Islam's trying to close that distance, that'll be huge for him. I think he's a faster fighter with his hands. I think he has better boxing. On the feet, I think he has better almost everything. So I can't really think of anything specific that Islam has over him. So the only thing is the grappling, the wrestling, the takedowns, and stuff like that. If Islam can't take him down consistently, and even if he can take him down consistently, how well can Ian get up? That's also a question. If Islam can't close that distance as well as he'd want to, how will Islam try and adjust? Can he adjust? So many questions on the side of Islam of if this doesn't work, because that pressure alone, going forwards and That's not easy. That's very difficult to do in MMA because you just can't move your head that well. In boxing, it's a bit different because you can slip on the inside and you can roll underneath. You can roll this way. You can do so much more defensively than in MMA. I think in MMA you have to be a bit more offensively when you are closing the distance. But Islam is a defensive fighter. He doesn't really fight like that. So will he be able to fight like that in this fight? And even if he does fight like that, can he still, with them offensive weapons, get close enough? Because he still has to get in range and then throw. He can't, unless he lunges in, which if he lunges in, can Ian counter him? So many questions in the stand-up for me. Because, like I just said, if Islam can't get in that mid-range, that close range to land them shots, or land that jab, or land that left hand, or throw that body kick, then it's going to be an Ian Garry win. Just is. Because Islam can't close that distance. He's getting caught as he's trying to close it. The shots are going to be from far out where Ian can defend them a lot easier because he can see them coming. You can just see them coming. If Ian... Now, a lot of fighters that fight Marab and a lot of fighters that just fight pressure guys, they will back up from them just moving forwards. Which, in my opinion, I don't like, because that shows a insecurity in fighting that if I'm fighting this guy at a mid-range or a close range, I don't like my chances. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. Honestly, I think Islam isn't a slick boxer. He's not a inside dirty boxer like a Daniel Cormier. He doesn't do that. Neither does Ian, but I do rather Ian's chances in the stand-up in almost any range, to be honest. I think Islam can catch him with a left hand as he's trying to come in. Maybe Ian's throwing that jab, Islam's parrying it with his lead hand, and then he throws that left hand. I think that something like that could land. Maybe foot feints and whatnot could get Ian going backwards with, he needs to get him going backwards, something offensive, showing something, then go forwards. If Ian is backing up for no reason, no particular reason, or is reacting to feints and is reacting to the shot, and Islam's dictating that that fight, Ian just isn't that good to me. Because if you are backing up and reacting to feints and feints and feints and feints and just getting out wrestled because of that, I can't consider you an elite fighter. I just can't. Because how are you letting someone dictate something off of feints and when he's not even a striker? Unless he's hurting Ian, which I highly doubt. How are you letting that happen? So I really struggle to see how Islam backs him up and closes that distance and shoots, shoots, yes. But if he can just get that takedown, then Islam's more than likely going to win. But if he gets that takedown and then Ian gets up, or that takedown's really hard for him to get, then it's a different ball game. I think Islam has looked at that Shavkat fight and saw how Shavkat won with that cage control. And whether you think it's boring, whether you think it's a dumb or gay way to win, I mean, it's a win. A win is a fucking win. We saw in his last fight, he'd do anything to win. Against Jack, he sat in half guard the full fight and didn't do any damage, didn't do anything. So that means Islam will get on that cage control, do them knees to the body, maybe some inside elbows, maybe some inside punches, body shots, knees. He'll do that. He'll fight that type of fight for 3 rounds. And then maybe stay at that range for a bit, shoot, maybe get it, maybe burn the energy at Ian for a bit. But yeah. In my head, I favor Ian to win this fight. I just don't see how Islam can effectively and consistently close that distance and get them exchanges going that he wants to get. And even if he gets them exchanges, how dominant can he be in them exchanges? Can he win a full round on top? A full round, 4 minutes. Can he just stay on top of that full time? I don't know. I would like to think Ian has good enough jiu-jitsu and good enough get up ability to get up. I would like to think that. And if he can't, then Islam is more than likely going to win unless Ian can stuff the takedowns. This is a very good striker. a long rangey striker that is also very well rounded against a guy who is going to have to win with his grappling. So Islam's grappling and wrestling would have to be that much better for him to win. Unless the striking is closer than I think, then Islam has a much better chance and he's more than likely going to win. But on the feet, I see Ian winning most of them, if not all of them, exchanges. Like I said, Islam can get the odd shot off, but I just don't see him doing much on the feet. And on the ground, like I said, can Ian get up? And if he can consistently, then I just don't see how Islam can win. Maybe I'm overrating Ian in my head. Maybe I'm not seeing what Islam can do better in my head, but that's how I kind of see it. I think it's going to be very competitive, very close, and I also think this could be one of them snooze fest fights. I think this is more of a fight for people who train and stuff like that. I think that's really the people who are really, really interested in this fight, because it's a very high level fight. It is one of the best fights that the UFC could make right now. Other than like a entertaining value fight, this is one of the best competitive matchups I think the UFC can make. Before the fight, you think of it as a very competitive. This could be one-sided in Islam. Islam could take him down, control him, get mount or take his back and nearly get a sub, and then second round he's feinting, changing the levels. Ian's reacted to it too much. He slips out the way, but then gives his hips up, gets him down, and then he gets his back, or ground and pound into an arm triangle, or gets his back, gets a rear naked, and then it's done in 2, 3, 4 rounds. It could really be like that. But do I think it's going to be like that? No, I don't. Out of the gate, I think Islam isn't going to give Ian any space. I think he's going to be right to that shot. And I think he's going to try and start the fight very fast. And I don't know if Ian's going to be... I don't think Ian's going to, in that moment, fight it. I think he's going to kind of be like, okay, I'll let you best some energy out early on. He's going to think very strategically about it. I think he's going to be, okay, I'll let you get the cages first round. You can take the first round. I don't give a fuck. You can burst some energy. Okay, he took me down. Okay, I'm going to work to get up, but I'm not burning too much energy. Okay, I'm up. Okay, he took me back down again. Okay, he won the round. Second round, okay, I need to be a bit more combatant. This round needs to be close. Or, I need to win one of these next 2 rounds. Okay, he's got me on the cage again. I'm going to push off. I'm going to elbow after it. I'm going to move. Okay, there's the jab. Okay, I've got my distance down. Okay, there's a body kick. And then he starts getting in his rhythm. Starts landing the body kick. Starts landing the leg kick. Maybe lands grazing jabs and clean jab now and again. Maybe a right hand to the body lands well. And then Ian's starting to get in his groove. Islam, okay, he's being very effective with his energy on the feet. He's, maybe landing a jab here and there. Maybe throws a left hand and it clips Ian on the nose or on the chin. Maybe he misses it and Ian fades out the way, rolls with the shot. Then Islam pressure with the feints, level changes, then gets a shot, controlling the cage for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Round ends, close round. Ian on the feet did damage, but not too much damage. Islam had the cage control with a jab here and there, a left hand here and there. Maybe they give it to Islam. Third round goes in. Islam takes half of the round off and then goes hard, heavy in the last 30 seconds to 1 minute to get a takedown. Maybe he gets it. Then it's okay. Ian did good on the feet that round. Low pace jab and give it to Ian, but it's still a close round. 4th round, 5th round. I think that is where the fight's really going to change. And I think that is really where the fight's going to be won by either guy. But I think Ian's going to have to do damage quick because he can't let Islam dictate anything for too long. Because it would be if Ian is dictating the fight for too long, that is worse for Islam than if Islam's dictating the fight for too long for Ian. Unless Ian is working harder. I don't know how to explain. If whoever's working harder to win the fight, but they're still not winning the fight, that's who's probably going to lose. If Ian's losing on the ground, but he's really working hard to get up, he's trying to use all his energy, all his shit trying to sweep or do reversals, and he's bursting a lot of energy, and Islam just getting that control, staying, breathing, and not wasting a lot of energy. That's very bad. Same with Islam. If Ian's on the feet and he's body kick, movement, and Islam's trying to close that distance, blasting left hands, and tries to get a takedown, but tries to lift Ian up, but it doesn't work. Tries to throw them shots on the inside, but not too much damage. They separate. Ian's on the back foot. Boom, boom, 1-2. And then Islam's starting to get tired. That's bad. And I think whoever is in that position, it wouldn't favor that fighter later on in the fight. So, because it's gonna end up one of them's tired later on. They're both gonna get tired. But what one is gonna be that extra tired where they don't have that explosion? Maybe Islam doesn't have that explosion for the takedown or explosion. And when you're tired too, it's harder to pressure because to pressure you, it's energy. On the back foot, you could kind of rest and take some time to breathe and move, jab, move. You could take time, but to pressure, it takes energy to pressure. Unless your defense is that good, it takes energy to do that. So, yeah. Who's gonna win? I would favor Ian right now. On the feet, I think it's just a big advantage, the reach and the height. It's not that drastic, but it is big. It is a big advantage. I think weight-wise, it's not that much. I don't think Ian weight-wise is a huge welterweight. Well, he's a big guy, so maybe the size difference is going to be bigger in a fight than it was in that face-off they did. But yeah, Ian, in my mind right now, is going to be the one who wins. I think he's going to be able to defend most of the takedowns. Maybe early on it's going to be a bit tough, but he's going to defend most of the takedowns. And as the fight goes on and on and on, I think Islam's going to just get more tired. Maybe that cut opens up again from the Poirier fight. Them right hands maybe a landing clean from Garry because it's a different stance matchup. Maybe a right hand to the body starts landing for Ian. That body kick starts landing for Ian. Maybe that head kick grazes a few times or lands clean one time or wobbles Islam. But yeah, I see Ian winning this fight 48-47. It could very well be a split decision. 49-46, 48-47 for Ian Garry. But that's it.